Hello guys, Sven here, bringing you the draft analysis for the Uppsala Umbreons and in the IBL. Um, yeah, let's just jump right into it. So, for my first pick at number 10 in the draft, I picked Volcarona as a tier 1 Pokemon. Ever since Heavy Duty Boots came out this generation, I wanted to try and use Volcarona because its ginormous rock's weakness is now gone by just having boots. You don't have to have the best hazard game on the planet, and it can set up from full. It's decently bulky with the base 85 HP, 65 defense, and the 105 special defense, and then it has humongous special attack in 135 and decent speed at base 100 in the Galar decks at the moment. And with Quiver Dance, it's just a setup monster. Among that the opponent have to prep for each week, like it have some dedicated checks, etc. And even then, Volcarona is just so good. Oh, I forgot, Volcarona, aka Sol, which is the sun god and also the name of the sun in Swedish, the sun god of the Nordic people, the Vikings, you know. Uh, so yeah, Volcarona, great fire type. I was super excited, like it was the only mon I really wanted to try. So when it dropped to me, I was very happy and I just scooped it up directly. So except for drafting Volcarona, I didn't have many plans. So when it came to me in the second round, I actually looked at the tiers and scouted for some value picks. And in tier 5, I found this gem, Thwacky. And yes, I drafted Thwacky round 2. Thwacky, aka Diddy, you know, Diddy from Diddy Kong and such. Yeah, it has grassy terrain just as Rillaboom, overgrowth as well. I forgot to mention that Volcarona has 2 good abilities in Swarm and Flame Body. Uh, but yeah, over to Thwacky. I just saw this in tier 5 and personally I think this is a tier 4 and not like a bad tier 4, it's like a solid tier 4 mod. So when I saw this in tier 5, I saw the potential of saving a lot of saving points and also letting me get this mohawking 420 base stat, you know, with the leaf 420 blaze it, uh, with the two drumsticks as well. And it has solid stats, like 85 attack is okay, especially when your main attacks like grass attacks get boosted by the grassy terrain plus stab. So you have the 1.3 multiplier from the terrain as well as the 1.5 from stab. You get grassy glide, such a good priority move. And with Eviolite, the 70-70-60 bulk is really nice. And 80 is a good speed stat for a non-evolved Pokemon. And Thwacky can do a lot. It can knock off, it can grassy glide as I said, and it can U-turn, so it gives me some form of momentum. And it also weakens Earthquake spam, so my opponents have to run high horsepower and such. So for round 3, Excadrill somehow made it to me, and I just had to scoop it up. This is my second tier 1, and also Excadrill aka Kurtek, since Kurtek is the mole from Prague, and since you probably don't know who the mole from Prague is, guess you'll learn. It's Charles character from the Czech Republic. Uh, it's not animated, but like drawn. I don't know the English name, but it's a series of movies, and I loved them as a child, so I have to respect it, and therefore I name my Israel Kurtik. So this gives me my first form of hazard control together with Volcarona. Volcarona actually has defog, and with boots it can serve as a defogger, but Excadrill gives me rapid spin. It also gives me stealth rocks. It gives me a good steel and a good ground type. It has sand rush, so if I pick up sand it has double speed, and it has the humongous attack stat. Hits hard. It also gets mold breaker just to so it can hit like levitating mons with ground moves like Rotoms, and then hit them super effectively with the Earthquake, high horsepower, etc. And yeah, and it has a good HP stat, so you can actually make it kind of bulky. It's deceptively bulky for such a strong sweeper, and people might not be ready for the bulkier sets when they have to hard prep for the sweeping and fast drills with Source Dance and like Life Orb or something like that in Sand. So we picked up Excadrill, of course we need to pick up Sand, so our next pick is Gigalith, aka Giggles, in tier 3. This gives us a second rocker, also a very good rocker. As the two very solid rockers now, also gives me a rock type, which does not repeat any type with the mons I have. I didn't want to go Hippowdon or Hippopotas because I didn't want to have two ground types, and I didn't want T-Tar, it was too expensive. And yeah, it was a tier 1 and I already had two tier 1s, so I had to like take a Gmax EV Meow for Pikachu. I was actually looking at Gmax Pikachu, but sadly it got sniped for me, so I had to change plans. I didn't really know which Gmax I wanted at the moment, but most people had taken theirs, so I was pretty confident in leaving the Gmax for last and looking for value in the other tiers. Hence why I'm picking my tier 3s here. So Gigalith, good HP, great defense, great special defense, and in Sand, yeah, it's a special monster as well. So this one can really wall stuff. It sets up Sand, Stealth Rocks, and it has a great attacking stats, so it hits hard as well. And it has two good abilities, Sandstream and Sturdy. Like I can run Sturdy if I don't bring Drill, or if I want to have Mold Breaker Drill. So yeah. And then for my fifth pick, I scooped up Dragalge from tier 3 as well. Dragalge, aka Tångräkan, which is a Swedish word for like a kelp shrimp, which because it looks like a shrimp and kelp. Kinda, maybe not, but I like Tångräkan, you know. It has toxic spikes, you know. There's not a, it's not Uppsala Umbreons without toxic spikes. You know how much I love them, and this is also a very slow Pokemon. So now I have two very slow ones and one kind of fast at level at 100 base speed, and then two middling at 80. And this is another slow one, which could lead to me picking up some Trick Room users in the end. But Dragalge has the ability Adaptability, which boosts the stab moves an extra time, so it gets 2 times the stab boost as it would have had otherwise. So it's Sludge Waves, and Draco Meteors hits like a truck even though it only has 97 special attack. Also gets Flip Turn, and with the big special defense stat it can be a fairly good special wall, but the HP is putting it down. It also gets Flip Turn, so a second one of my momentum mons. and I'm pretty happy with Dragalge, and maybe one week I'll run flip turn with the poison touch and poison the opponent. You never know. And then for round 6, I looked at tier 2, didn't know what to get. I just might as well get a dark type, and I needed some more removal in case I don't want to run boots on Volcarona every week. So I picked up Mandibus, Mandibus, aka Egi Pinae, Pinae, Egi Pinae. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a Latin word for a classification of vultures, and we know that Mandibus is a vulture. So yeah, not too creative, but I like the name. And yeah, Mandibus is just a defensive monster with base 110 HP, 105 defense, and 95 special defense. The attack and special attack is lacking, but like all you do is you can knock off, you can toxic, you can foul play, and foul play doesn't take into account your own attack, so and it's stab boosted. You can U-turn, you can defog, and you can roost and just be a nuisance. So I expect this to be one of my better mons. So for the next round, also it has 3 good abilities in big packs, which makes the opponent not able to lower my defense stat, and also overcoat, which makes me ignore powder moves as well as sandstorm and hellship, and weak armor in case I want to get frisky and get speed boosting and maybe nasty plotting one week. We'll see. And then yeah, gives me another momentum. So now I have 3 momentum mons, which is nice, which can then go into my big sweepers in Volcarona and Excadrill. So next I picked Hatterene, aka Pink. Pink the singer, with the exclamation point. I'm not a super big Pink fan, but I really like the name with the exclamation point, how it looks. So usually when I get a pink Pokemon, I name it Pink. Yeah, I was looking tier 2, there was not much I wanted in tier 2 at this point, and I needed a fairy type, and I needed a psychic type for my PDF core and my fantasy core. So Hatterene completed my fantasy core of Hatterene, Excadrill, and Dragalge, and complemented the Mandibus in the PDF core. So if you look at the stats, it has pretty slow. It's very slow. Has pretty bad HP stat, great special attack stat, pretty decent defenses, and an okay attack stat. Hatterene is a really good magic bounce user. Like, it has 3 abilities: magic bounce, healer, which does nothing in singles, and anticipation, which is kind of bad. So I'm gonna run this magic bounce every week, because since this is a Gmax, I don't care if you parting shot me out, since I don't waste my Gmax. Just letting you know. And yeah, it's a very good Pokemon. It sets up Trick Room very reliably, and in Trick Room it just hits so hard. So the opponent has to prep for my fast mode in Volcarona, Excadrill, but also really have to respect my Trick Room route now with Gigalith, Hatterene, and Dragalge. Yeah, just a really strong Pokemon, and I think I'll use it a couple of times at least, and I think it's a solid Pokemon. I look forward to using it. Next, we picked up Bolton, aka Brutus, uh, because his name is Brutus because the dog I once had was named Brutus, so I name all my dogs dog Pokemon Brutus for that reason, in commiserations to my dog. This was actually sniped from me, but by Mario B and the Happy Valley Hariyamas, but he agreed to trade it to me for Rotom, a Rotom like Ghost, which he then proceeded to drop afterwards, so we got the Boldon at least in tier 4. I think Boldon in tier 4 is great value. It's a very fast Pokemon in the metagame. Uh, it's not bulky, but it's fast, and with strong UL, it hits pretty hard with Thunder Fang and Fire Fang, Psychic Fangs, Crunch, etc. Strong Jaw basically gives it a stab, like an extra stab boost to the Fang moves. And for some reason, it doesn't get Ice Fang. Please, Game Freak, give Bolton Ice Fang. Thank you. And it has good coverage in like Play Rough and other stuff. It can also run special, but the special move pool is pretty bad, but it has competitive, so you can run like special and punish defogs with competitive, getting the +2 boost, or punish intimidators, getting the +2 boost in special attack. But since the only moves it learns in special attack are electric and normal types, it's easily walled, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Bolton's gonna do great for the team. It's such a good revenge killer. With the speed, hits decently hard with Life Orb or Band. Yeah, I think this is gonna be one of my top killers, and if not the top killer of my team, and maybe even the league. We'll see. It has some competition with Volcarona and Excadrill, you know. So for my next pick, I had basically uh, decided on what I wanted in as my second tier 4, and I didn't think anyone would take it, and I knew which Gigantamax I was getting, so I was scooping up the best value I found in tier 5, and that was Dusknoir, aka Lyktan. Lyktan is the Swedish name of a lantern, and since the head looks like a lantern, I just wanted to call it Lyktan, okay? It has horrendous HP, great defense and special defense, which makes up for the horrendous HP, a decent base 100 attack, and 45 speed, and it also gets Trick Room. So this is my second Trick Room user. It's kind of slow. It really gives me more options in the Trick Room mode, and also Poltergeist. With base 100 attack, Poltergeist hits like a truck. Poltergeist is such a good new move that Ghost types get. So now Dusknoir went from having the best physical Ghost move being Shadow Punch, yeah, base 60 base power 2, to Poltergeist, which is base 110. Just imagine, yeah, it's super great. Also has 2 good abilities. It has Frisk to see the items of the opponent, and also Pressure if I want to stall. And yeah, I think this is a really good tier 5. It's slept on. So I think I picked up 2 tier 5s that were at least Thwackey was definitely a tier 4, but Dusknoir, in my opinion, is borderline tier 4. A really good tier 5. So I also got my spin blocker. Yeah, I'm just happy I got this. So then, since I knew I wouldn't get sniped on my Gigantamax, I decided to pick up the tier 4 I wanted and complete all my cores, both the fire water, both the starter and the PDF core. So I'm water fighting, and yeah, you guessed it right. It's Poliwrath, aka Grodanboll. As you can see, he's very pixely here. It doesn't matter, I still love him. He's a good boy, and you can see his stats are kind of middling. 90, 95, 95, 70, 90, 70. They're not great. He has 2 good abilities in Water Absorb and Swift Swim. So like, if I face rain, or if I face a strong water type, I might bring Polyraph just to check that one. And it also gets Hypnosis. And maybe sometime I want to test my luck, like spin the lotto wheel and just uh, bet everything on black and just pray, you know. And yeah, it got some great new stuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't get flip turn. It does now get close combat at least. Like it did not have good fighting moves before this generation. But I think Polar Wrath is a decent tier 4. Probably not a premier tier 4 in my opinion, but it's a decent tier 4. Gives me the water absorb mon. Uh, so when I face Rain or Dracovish, they cannot mindlessly click water moves. And yeah, it has some decent attack and defense and special defense and HP, so you can run it like especially bulky and then bulk up, or yeah, you can run in a lot of ways. And I expect it to do well. At least come to like 2-3 games. Uh, just like Dusknoir. Like Dusknoir or Polywrath are probably the ones I'm not gonna bring the most, but I expect them both to come to like 3 games at least. 3-4. I'm usually pretty good at cycling through my mons. Uh, and I like doing that, so hence why I picked Polyraph. And I've always wanted to use Polyraph as well, but never like found a reason for it. There are usually better water types out there, and there are usually better fighting types, but I was pressed for points, and Polyraph filled both the water and the fighting type spot for the team, and yeah, it also gave me a water absorb mon, which is really good when you face Dracovish, so I can make it predict the Polar Wrath with it goes for Psychic Fangs, and I switch into Mandibus, you know. Uh, yeah, or it can't just lock into Fisher's Rend, so yeah. And then onto my last mon, I picked up Gmax Snorlax, aka It's a Me. It's a Me! Because, you know, I'm pretty chunky as well, and Gmax Snorlax is like the chunkiest of the chunkiest, so with the base 160 HP, like incredible HP stat, great attack stat at 110, pretty bad defense at 65, but the HP stat makes up for it. Special attack 65, special defense 110, great, and then speed 30, which adds to our trick room mode. So I know the team is pretty slow, and there are a lot of mons in the middling speed between 70 and 80, and then between 45 and 29, and just 2 mons over 100 and one over 100. So I'm not the biggest fan of the speed tiers, but yeah, Snorlax, you know, can put in work. It can poly jump just as Polywrath can. Has 3 amazing abilities in Gluttony, Immunity, and Thick Fat. So, and its G-Max moves restores berries. So if I want to run Gluttony, Belly Drum, I can Belly Drum, eat my berry, then G-Max, and then attack, and then I get my berry back 50% of the time. And then I can eat the berry again. Yeah. And it's a Snorlax, so it gets every single coverage move. And yeah, it can curse. It can do anything. It can be assault. There's a special wall. Gmax Snorlax is just so good that like I can give it one roll each week. Like if this is a troublesome mon, I can usually tailor Snorlax to beat it, especially when it's Gmax, because it's so hard to OHKO. And it has a good attack stat, so it can KO back. Yeah, and that's the team. As I said, it's Samples Volcarona, only 2 rockers, 1 toxic spike setter, not too big of a hazard game, but I have a solid rapid spinner and a very solid defogger. Yeah, I filled my course and I got the other types I want with electric, ground, and ghost normal. So I'm happy. So that's the team. Hope you'll tune in for the week 1 versus Green Bay Jumpers, since Beta have had to drop and coach Big Time Brownie, and see if we can get some revenge. Yeah, I think this team will make playoffs, but I'm not expecting to go farther than last time. I might make some changes mid-season. Sven's out. Peace. Bye.